Mistake this time as Ethiopia look to play it out from the back. No question of offside. Salah. Timing is run to perfection. Brilliantly picked out by Hamdi Fati. And then calmly finding the gap between the outrushing Noura and his near post. Nestling into the bottom corner. Salah moves back out as the sole top scorer.
في كامل تركيزه ويضاعف النتيجة في الدقيقة 40. اتمنيت هدف تاني قبل نهاية الشوط الأول، وبالفعل منتخب مصر يحقق كل الأماني ويسجلوا الهدف الثاني. شوف الوان تو الرائع. زيزو بدأها، صلاح يرد الكرة لزيزو وفورا بلمسة واحدة وفيرست تايم يسجل زيزو تاني أهداف منتخب مصر في هذه المباراة وثالث أهدافه الدولية في مباراته رقم 41. ادي زيزو والفرحة المصرية في المدرجات. 2-0 سهلنا الأمور.
Ethiopia have won just one of their last 14 World Cup qualifiers, winless in their last 8, however. 4 of those are draws, whilst Egypt have lost just one of their last 15 World Cup qualifiers. That loss to Senegal on penalties, as mentioned, costing them a place at the 2022 World Cup. The form book certainly against the home side here, especially with another stat that Egypt are unbeaten in their last 9 away games. But will push on, give it their all, can be certain. They're already up against it though. Salah into the middle, chested down by Zizou, taken off his toes. So it's Zizou with the underhit pass. Spoke about Egypt's prior World Cup appearances and AFCON triumphs. A word for their hosts this evening. Ethiopia never reached the World Cup before. Came fairly close in 2014. Ball into the box, smothered up by Abu Bakr Noura for Salah. Good pounce. Yes, closest he ever came, 2014. 5-0 aggregate victory over Somalia. They joined South Africa, Botswana and the Central African Republic. Group A of the qualifiers. Secured advancement to the 3rd round to beating CAR away in the final match. Considered a historic achievement for the country, but were ultimately eliminated by the Super Eagles, Nigeria, in the 3rd round. They are also, however, winners of the AFCON. Won the competition on home soil in 1962. It's extra time. One of only 3 teams in the inaugural AFCON in 1957. The other, Egypt and Sudan. These two go way back. And Spin the Pharaohs on top in the head-to-head, but Ethiopia showing keep them honest early on. Nothing's going to go in one direction. However, here in the second half, Egypt looking to make a clear statement of intent here in the first 5. number of times worked the ball forwards to the Ethiopia area. That's a mistake though. And one, however, which, unlike at that end in the first half, wasn't to be pounced upon. Trezeguet looking for Salah, couldn't quite get his head to the ball to flick it on. Zizo behind him. Success has been elusive for Ethiopia since the 60s. That single triumph on the continent. Qualification for the 2013 AFCON was their first in 31 years. Fell at the group stage as they did in 2021, their only other participation since. If they are to fail to turn this one around, which is certainly a strong possibility, still take some belief into the second half of this campaign. All is not lost. A respectable first half, certainly first half an hour against the mighty Pharaohs. And there will be 5 points from Burkina Faso in that potential playoff spot. It is pretty tight in the middle of Group A. As they haven't picked up a victory of their own. All those draws have kept the others around them honest. Either way, this one certainly far from done. 40 minutes still to play. Ball brought forwards here by Yared Kasai. Leaf out of the Egyptian book and starting again from the halfway line. Holding onto the ball. Making their visitors do the running this time. They couldn't hold on to it though, and just like that, it's down the other end. Salah into the middle. Centimetres surely from a third. Osama Faisal stretching out. Right boot couldn't quite make contact. His first appearance in the World Cup qualifiers, Osama Faisal. Just his 9th appearance in all for Egypt. Rewarded for a very impressive season with National Bank Egypt. 9 goals, 17 appearances in the Egyptian top flight. Free kick one in a pretty promising position by Ethiopia. Foul was on Chenet Gugeza. Combination of Fatih and Atia bringing him down. El Shinawi arranging his ball just so. A number of candidates to take it. Is it within shooting range? Certainly aren't many offering themselves up for a dink into the box. take something pretty special. You'd expect to beat El Shinawi from that kind of range. But certainly a possibility. One of the better opportunities Ethiopia have produced, certainly since the restart. Down to 2 candidates now. Straight into the wall. Get walled up. Tidies up, and Ethiopia can at least hold on to the ball. Seem to be red shirts everywhere you look. It's Ethiopia trying to force their way through the midfield. Unorthodox or not, this very fluid setup produced by Hossein Hassan has been working very nicely. Trezeguet, makeshift wing back with Awanatia there to fill in when Trezeguet does venture forwards. Rebecca Nura sending that one into touch. Second Ethiopian change is due. Sotoferi not content with his single half-time substitution. I believe it is Bereket Desta going to come on. For now, though, some defending to do for the current 11. Clever flick from Marmouche. It's not one his teammates could make the most of. Impressive start to life in Manchester City, but it was an even more impressive start to the season with Wolfsburg. 15 goals and 17 appearances, earning him that move to City. Trezeguet in on goal. Sliding challenge. He wins it back and is then wiped out as he tried to take the shot. Egypt wants a penalty. Referee wasn't convinced. There's some raised voices on the touchlines. It's almost reminds you of times of COVID football. This fairly empty stadium. You can hear the players, hear the head coaches, hear the head coach, the conversations going on. Normally would be drowned out by tens of thousands in the stands. And it is, I think, Hossein Hassan from where a large amount of that noise was coming. Trezeguet taking it in his stride. Initially blocked by Emmanuel Terfa. Then it's the substitute, Bereket Walder, sliding in. Didn't get the ball. I think it was an unintentional slip, but he certainly took Trezeguet out after he had poked the ball on. Maybe that was the reason for the referee not pointing to the spot. Ball was set to be gathered up by Nura either way. Nonetheless, something of a lucky escape for Egypt, for Ethiopia, I should say. As we tick past the hour mark, no change since 15-minute break. The ball forwards down the left wing. Zizo the first there this time. Trezeguet again. Certainly no worse for wear after that challenge. Atia puts it on. Salah chooses not to pass the overlap. Instead, switching to Zizo, nearly got it back. Ethiopia clear as far. It's Rami Rabia. Pass goes astray. Trezeguet gets his shot away, and on the rebound, astonishing double save from Abubakar Noura. Looked destined for the net, looked destined for a third for Egypt. But the debutant in the Ethiopia goal, somehow getting a strong hand on that rebound. We'll wait for the replay. And here's a live action replay, as it were. This time Noura doesn't get there. It's still no third for Egypt. This time it was the captain, Ashalu Tamen, getting back on the line to deny Zizo a second. Egypt their third. Ethiopia rather hanging on. It was a slip. Produced the chance before. Almost lackadaisical. Osama Faisal on the rebound, expecting it to go in. And it bounced up kindly for Noura, but nonetheless, brilliant reactions from the Ethiopian keeper. A double change is for Ethiopia. Barakat Desta also joined by Habtamut Tikest. And it is Janeko Geza and Emmanuel Johannes who have made way. Didn't get to that, but he escapes without punishment. Off the head of Faisal. Looking like it might not be his evening. Number of close calls, just not happening. Still waiting for that first goal for Egypt. It's the 9th attempt. Still very animated Hossam Hassan. Barking out instructions on the sidelines. For Kelly. Got the pass through. Also can on the receiving end of the throw from the substitute. Barakat Desta. That's it. Battling away. Gives away the free kick. Foul on Mohamed Hani. Haven't been without mistakes this Egypt side. Under no pressure, giving it away. Similarly, giving away under no pressure from the throw. But Ethiopia quickly win it back. Go here. Could change everything. Reflection of the game. Be very different should Ethiopia grab one back. Spinning away there, Abdul Karim Walku. Just can't quite find the crucial final pass. Switch from right to left, one which invited pressure. Wasn't the most powerful pass, but it's pressure which Ethiopia escaped from, and now push on into the final third. That's it. Up against Hani. Battling away. Not coming away with the ball. Normally done by Mohamed Abdul Monem. Now with Nice in French top flight, but another who joined Al Ahly at a young age. Added to the Egyptian Giants books, just 10 years of age. Trezeguet was another. Rabia joined at 10, Mohamed Hani at 9. Very impressive youth academy at Al Ahly. Monem finally moving on. New challenge in France, and it's going pretty nicely for Nice, no pun intended. At the moment, on the podium in Liga to secure Champions League football next year. Salah can't find a way past. Ethiopia still not in a hurry as we enter the final quarter of the game. If there is a thought to damage limitation to some extent against the runaway group leaders, goal difference could prove crucial if they were to mount a comeback in the second half of this campaign. They have been very tight at the back throughout these qualifiers. Had conceded the fewest goals of anyone bar Egypt in the 6 teams. Just 4 from the first 4. Problem being, they only scored the 1. That remains the case as we head into the final 20 minutes here. Sama Faisal won't get his goal. Number of close calls, none more so than that astonishing stop on the rebound from Noura. He is replaced by another who plies his trade in the French top flight, Mustafa Mohamed. Centre forward, who had a very strong season last campaign for Nantes, but has struggled a touch this term. Did grab one last weekend. That just his 4th of the season Long way still from the 80 notched up in his first 2 campaigns. Ethiopia with their first real burst into the box of the second half. It was Warku. Found a bit of space. Just couldn't quite get it out of his feet. Under pressure from Marwan Attia. It was comfortable enough for El Shanawi. Hold on to the ball, not even have to parry it. Signs of life once again from Ethiopia, not letting Egypt have it all their own way. Ball looking for Desta. Samuel Shinawi goes long and it might pay off. Zizo picks it up, options in the middle. One of them is Salah. Here he is, helps it on to Trezeguet. Off the outside of the post. Also looking like it might not be his day. Faisal could, perhaps should, have had 1 or 2. It's the same story for the man with the number 7 on his shirt. Curling, but not quite enough. Catching the outside of the upright. Got his nickname from David Trezeguet. French World Cup winner. European Championship winner. Former youth coach noticed similarities between the pair. One of them is goal-scoring ability. 22 for his country. Very nearly 23rd there. Another change. Caesar Ahmed Rashid brought on by Mesai Teferi. Straight swap at the back. Fresh legs to deal with this ever-threatening Egypt's attack. Can also get forward, so Rashid, and here he is. Once again, it was that final ball that was lacking at the crucial moment. Done by Bekele. Rashid again. Seemed to have started in defence, but maybe now a reshuffle, maybe into midfield. Switch to 4 at the back. Ethiopia have to go for it now. Just over a quarter of an hour remaining. Might get their reward here. Warku has the ball in the box. Lifts it into the back stick, it's just beyond Abubakar Nasir. He'll keep it alive. Kasai's cross was underwhelming. Now Salah brings it away. To Trezeguet. Marmouche. Lifted in by Marwan Attia and headed just wide by Trezeguet again. Head in his hands, asking what he has to do to get himself on the score sheet here. Got the right side of Rashid. Not sure if that one did glance the upright. It was very close. Either way, close, but no cigar. Does seem to be more space in which to operate now in the final third for Egypt. So that reshuffle was a reason, after all, that Mesai Teferi chose 5 at the back against what was a team with pretty much 5 at the front. Pharaohs certainly with 5 attackers, even if one was playing in that makeshift wing-back role. Salah, the pass and move straight on his bike to get on the end of a potential cross. Trezeguet instead picks out Zizo. He can't force it through to his captain. Ethiopia survive another scare. Surviving won't be enough to earn them anything from this game, though. Running out of time. Slip at the back. Mentioned the slick surface in the first half. Not quite as much spray coming off the ball as there was then, but there have been 1 or 2 slips which have been almost, but not quite costly. Rabia is down on the ground, battered into by Nasir. Fifth and final change incoming for Ethiopia. Still just the one made by Hossam Hassan. That will be Nasir's final act. Taking away the free kick, replaced by Mohamed Abara. 23-year-old forward. Get a little over 10 minutes to show his manager what he can do. Teferi acknowledged the threat posed by the informed duo of Salah and Marmoush in the pre-match press conference. Said they weren't solely focused on those two. Egypt's quality is evident across all positions, particularly in attack. That has been evident. Safa Mohammed looking to get in on the act. "13 goals for the Pharaohs, closing in on 50 appearances. It's been something of a slow burner in terms of his career, Mustafa Mohammed. Still operating with the under-23s in 2019, as Golden Boot and winner at the 2019 under-23 AFCON. Runner-up in the 2020 Champions League with Zamalek. Runner-up in the 2021 AFCON with Egypt. A few near misses. Joined a non-side who had just finished his runners-up in the Coupe de France as well. At times the bridesmaid. Surely the bride sooner rather than later. Part of this Pharaoh squad. Into the final 10 minutes. Egypt very nearly over the line. Still have to ensure they keep their concentration. Let's do the Ethiopia backline very nearly in there. Mohamed Salah. Dessa has looked likely spark for Ethiopian creativity since coming on, full of running, trying to force the issue. That's what Teferi's side need, but still unable to find the breakthrough. Double change being readied on the sidelines for Egypt. Trezeguet wants the foul, doesn't get it. Back pass so from Difati will with any potential danger. He now knocks it on to Marmoush. Space to his left with Trezeguet. That's who he finds. Trezeguet into the middle. Mustafa Mohamed trying to get across his man. It's going to be difficult to divert it home from there. I think it was potentially final touch of an Ethiopian boot. Either way, for now, focus on the substitutes. Two departing will be Zizo, who here scored the second for Egypt. And Hamdi Fati also making way. Khaled Sobi and Mohamed Shahata will replace the pair. Still two substitutions remaining, should Hassan Hassan choose to use them. So Teferi now out, unless there is, of course, to be the showing of a pink card. New rule brought in last year, indicating substitution due to a possible concussion. Not used by the referees, but the team still alert the fourth official. They'll be substituting a player due to a head trauma. Not something we want to see, but it is a possibility. New rule used for the first ever time at the Copa America, match between Brazil and Costa Rica. Ensures greater safety for players who suffered head injuries without taking away the team's advantage, since the opposing team also gets an extra substitution as well. Marmoush committing the foul. Running over Ahmed Rashid. Leading with the shoulder. Still throwing themselves into the tackles, Egypt. Just sitting on their 2-goal lead. Pushing on for a third. Trezeguet, perhaps the most determined to find it. Mohamed trying to wriggle his way through. Somewhat found his way past Abtamu to Tekest, but ultimately too many in green and yellow in front of him. Vera running the flanks now. Credit to Trezeguet, he has been up and down that left wing. Might not have got his goal yet, but surely covered one of the greatest amount of distance on the pitch. Touch for Khalid Sobi, who's slotted in at the back, but giving the ball away. Overhit pass for Walku. Has been working hard, but without end result. Calmly done by Ahmed Rashid. Brings it forwards onto Walku. Freak a turn. Mohamed Hani in with the challenge. Mulder. Options left and right. Chooses the former. Testa lays it off and moves into the box. Rani Bekele, a more central position since that reshuffle, was at right wing back. 4 waiting in the middle. 6 Ethiopia players currently in the Egypt area. And yet, it's Trezeguet who gets his head to the box. I think even with the final touch coming off Antonio Tekest. Not even a corner. In fact, it was only Tekest with a touch. Deceptive in the original angle. Trezeguet doing enough to put him off. Egypt can afford to take a little easy in the final few minutes. They generally have been doing so. But, with a double substitution coming, there'll be further energy conserved with another match to come in 4 days' time. This time the home team in Cairo hosting Sierra Leone. Final 2 changes. On come Ahmed Nabil Koka and Mustafa Fati. Trezeguet ultimately also frustrated without his goal. Omar Mamouche too drawing a blank, but the job has been done by Egypt into the final 30 seconds now of the scheduled 90. Dinked over the top for Salah, who takes it down brilliantly. Another great save by Noura. This time the rebound was poked home, but it won't count. Offside flag up against the Egypt captain. Brilliant control. As you'd expect, it was offside. Great reactions again from Noura. Might have conceded 2. It's been a strong debut from the young keeper. Double save, the highlight. Also denying Salah from point-blank range, offside or not. Nothing to be sniffed at. 4 minutes of additional time. 30 seconds of which have already come and gone. Still defending desperately. To their credit, giving it their all to the very end, Ethiopia. Chance of a heroic comeback has surely come and gone. Could be time for a consolation if they counter with purpose and with skill. But they will be heading back to Ethiopia without a point here, and still winless at the halfway point of this qualifying campaign. Abara as well to hang on to the ball, despite briefly hitting the deck. Here come Egypt on the counter. Heavy touch from Mohammed, let him down. So Egypt will be hosting Sierra Leone. Ethiopia will be once again in Morocco, once again the home team, not on home turf. This time in El Jadida, who will take on Djibouti. And I'm sure will fancy their chances of getting something more from that game. Just 3 days' time. Against the side with just 1 point to their name. That 1 point did come against Ethiopia, but pieces of this showing. Ethiopia can certainly back themselves to get something from that game, maybe the first victory. The Walia Ibex showing flashes of excellence here, have largely ultimately been outclassed by one of the classiest outfits in Africa. Egypt looking to push on and finish with a flourish. The third goal, Salah's pass doesn't find its target. It's the final 60 seconds. Ethiopia still full of running on the counter, but as has been the case throughout, the final ball lacking harmlessly into the gloves of Mohamed El Shanawi. All smiles on the bench, even for Trezeguet, who this earlier was ruining his misfortune, having clipped the woodwork. But even without a goal in the second half, Egypt claimed the 3 points. Their captain set them on the way just after the half-hour mark, and then turned provider to set up Zizo a little under 10 minutes later. Job done in Casablanca for the Pharaohs. They extend their lead at the top of Group A out to 5 points above Burkina Faso in second place, and are thoroughly in pole position to take the automatic qualification spot for the 26th FIFA World Cup in Group A.